Dr. Nerenberg's mind-body workout system.
Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters. It's humbling to be here with you, to have the privilege, to have the honor to be in your presence, to have the opportunity to share with you what is deepest in my life, and I think what will be deepest in your own lives. I'm grateful to those of you in the room, those of you watching on DVD, and those listening on CD. Today we're going to have a discussion format on Respectfully Real, the New Social Contract. And looking at the new social contract, which is basically 50-50 in terms of deep and superficial, suspending the lock-in where you can go superficial to deep and from deep to superficial, and where we can, any subject is socially appropriate as long as we approach that subject respectfully, that is with kindness and wisdom. And we're going to be wearing a logo, such as the logo I have on here and here, which is RR, Respectfully Real, so people can find one another and then relate to one another at a deeper level and without a lock-in. But I want to start off today's talk with a little bit about boundaries. Because although everything's socially appropriate, there are a number of issues also that need to be taken into account with what we talk about. One, for example, would be timing. Say you have something difficult you need to talk to somebody about. You have something very sensitive issue, but the person's tired. We may not want to bring the subject up at that time. That may not be part of wisdom. So when we talk about respectfully real, again, we're not talking just real, we're not talking just honest, we're talking about respectfully real, words that are used to create a connection, a bridge, as opposed to a wall or a barrier. So not all topics are timely. May need to wait till that person is rested. And some people, when they first wake up, might be a little more irritable. That might not be the time of day to talk to that person. Some people, when they're hungry, it's a little harder to talk to them. So, well, I'm going to wait till after you eat. Now that's something I need to talk to you about. A person may have had a death in the family or some major loss, losing a job. They may be already overwhelmed. There might be too much to really go into something emotionally sensitive area. Now, of course, when we're talking about depth, we're talking about intellectual depth, emotional depth, and spiritual depth. And it should be noted that some people can be very intellectually deep. You can go deep into any subject, politics, religion, the nature of life. But it doesn't mean they're necessarily emotionally deep. They may have trouble talking about their personal feelings. It might be very alien to them or difficult or threatening. They have some people who are very tuned into their feelings, and they could tell you, well, I'm feeling this, I feel hurt, I feel jealous, I feel sad, I'm joyous. Really share all the aspects of their inner lives. So some people who are emotionally deep may or may not be intellectually deep. They may not be able to go into, give a very coherent philosophy about life, death, money, sickness, raising children, and so forth. But they can really share at a very deep level about their emotionality. And then at a spiritual level, some people can go very deep, but then maybe they're not going to go really deep about the other two areas, intellectually or emotionally. So when we talk about depth, we're talking about all areas. And there's always room for people to grow in one of those areas. But we need to keep in mind that there are different areas. Just like with trust. You might be able to trust some people with your money, but not with your emotion. Some people can trust with your emotion, but not with your money. So we need to understand what areas of depth. Now going back to the topic of boundaries, we're talking about being respectfully real. Now you might talk to somebody and say, for example, to somebody, gee, I think you look very attractive. And that might be very respectful to that person. Or you might even be able to say, well, you look very sexy today. And that might be even, in that case, maybe respectful to that person. But being respectfully real also involves, is there a third person involved? So, for example, if that person's married, the spouse may object to somebody saying that, if they're present or not even present. So when we're looking at respectfully real communication, it's not only with that person present, but it also with respect to other people. Or to take it another step, a person may say, gee, you're looking great. And a man may say to him, you look great. And there's two women right by her. He doesn't say anything about them. Well, that could be painful. He's saying, she looks great. Well, what am I, chopped liver here? I mean, it could be painful to the other person there, not hearing a compliment. So although it's respectfully real to that person, It can be painful to the other. So respectfully real is not only being respectfully real with that person you're talking to, but you're also having other relationships with who else is around, whether that person's single or married. These all enter into determining respectfully real conversations.